come here. Psst, you, yeah, come here, come here. Closer, closer. Do you want to look at my sketchbook? Hello, dear doodle bugs. It's Mary, and it is a sketchbook tour. So I'm gonna show you some of my drawings and doodles and scribbles from a sketchbook that I picked up while I was traveling abroad this last fall. Step 1, open the book. Step 2, taking a look. My. So as I've mentioned in previous sketchbook tours, I do like to do very large spreads on my cover page. Just make it a ceremonial thing. Oh, I should mention this particular book. The brand is Talons, Royal Talons. This is a book that I picked up in an art store in Barcelona. And to be honest, I tried to find it on the internets. It was a little hard to find this particular book. It's a very similar style to Moleskine. It's a little bit thicker than your usual Moleskine sketchbook. So there's a few more pages to it. Otherwise, good quality paper. It doesn't have the envelope that Moleskine has in the back, which I do kind of like, especially for traveling. It's a great place to stash receipts, or if I see interesting business cards or flyers for bands that I really like the images of. I do like to be able to stash it in my sketchbook. So that's the one thing for this, but it's a good book. Holds up very well. I actually feel like the binding and the structure is a little more solid than Moleskine. So when I got this book, we were in Barcelona. We were traveling around. I was trying to do sketches as often as possible. This is a little cartoon of Dante, and little side note, that's Christopher Columbus. He's spotting slaves on the horizon. And Sulai! In my previous sketchbook tour of drawings from Europe, there was a lot of drawings of my friend Sulai. So you can use your sketchbook for a lot of things. You could practice techniques. You can work on characters. I was working on a painting that I made while in Barcelona. So you can see some of the rough drafts that I'd done, hashing out what this painting's gonna be, what the style is, the design of the figure. So that's one thing I really like about sketchbooks, is that you can throw ideas at the wall, so to speak. It's also held in a journal, in a book, so it's documented, and you can always go back and revisit where you were in that moment. Like in this moment, we ended up at the London bar in Barcelona. We just happened to wander in very close to the end of the night, and there was a band that had been playing. They were hanging out by the bar and just playing for a much smaller audience and their friends. And these are some very quick figure sketches of people in the bar listening to the music. Very sloppy, very unfinished even. You know, here's a person, that's where the rest of the head would be, practicing some quick figure sketching. I was at this point on vacation, so I had a lot of drawing time, sitting in cafes, drawing, working out ideas and concepts. I really like this. I feel like it should be a t-shirt or something. The key to getting better at anything is to do it a lot. And sketchbooks are a great place to play around with ideas and concepts. There's no pressure of it being a final painting. I was enjoying playing with my grayscale Faber-Castell markers and just working on effects, adding some white gel pen outlines. Also tried some watercolor on these pages. Now, this is not watercolor paper, it's sketchbook paper. It's very good for drawing, holds ink nicely. It might be a little tough to see, but the watercolor did have the page warp a little bit. That said, it's perfectly fine to paint with watercolor on this. Dante and I were playing with watercolors, doing some abstract stuff. Believe it or not, this is the view from our balcony where we were staying. I think they had an awning, and then it was a purple building. I don't know, it's abstract. Playing with it. I think I was more so playing around with the colors and the basic shape of stuff, and then doing some quick sketches of Dante. And he came up with a very awesome concept for a series that I kind of want to start doing, called How to Unturd Your Painting. The delicate thing is to help people improve what they're working on without turding all over their hard work. Dante was making a beautiful watercolor painting of a river, and then he added a spot of brown in the water, which I believe was intended to be a rock, but it looked like somebody pooped in the pool. I don't often do final looking drawings where it's all pretty polished and neat in my sketchbooks, because I feel like I'm eventually going to want to put it up on a wall or make it displayable. So I don't always put such hard work into things in my sketchbook, but I was on vacation. And this is a design. I kind of want to turn it into a poster or print. The concept is, I was thinking, oh, woolly mammoth, and playing on the words of naming these animals after the materials they're wearing. It created this winter theme, so naturally Wim Hof gets thrown in there. If you're not familiar with Wim Hof, he's famous for having hiked Mount Everest in just board shorts and sandals. He's got this breathing technique that enables him to hang out in incredible cold climates. Fascinating human. Just the character design for comic, I had a fleeting concept. I don't know, I really like her look. I like curly hair. I like drawing girls with big curly hair, probably because I always want what you don't have. Whoever she is, she's tough. Some random thoughts just thrown on the page here. I've been getting into just drawing things and then captioning it or writing text, as you may or may not have noticed. I think it's funny. This says, some people say they are still living in the canyons, stealing cattle and knitting ponchos. Here we've got some possibly very difficult to make out characters. Well, that's a butt. That's definitely a butt. Helmet. Someone was tying their shoe, I think? And this dude. Not today. What do we say to the god of cubicles? Not today. So, figure studies and gesture drawings is a thing that if you want to get good at drawing people or animals or anything, it's an excellent exercise. The idea is that you draw something very quickly. It doesn't have to look exact. You're just capturing it in as few strokes as possible, as fast as you can. And a great way to challenge yourself is to draw dogs playing with each other. Dogs in George Orwell Plaza. That Shiba Inu doesn't give a what? Kitty. I had tweeted out for suggestions of what to draw while I was on the plane. The eyes are done in stipple with marker, which is just a bunch of little tiny dots. And I think it makes it pop. It makes it look a little more glittery. These were the Faber-Castell gray tone markers along with my Sakura Koi brush tip markers. Good travel markers. Ooh, here's some more watercolors. Just free-flowing thoughts and ideas while painting and drawing. More stipple marker doodling along with some more watercolor sketching and doodling, working on a character design. Meow. Jackpot Golden Boys! Here's a very rough sketch of a logo that I was designing for the Jackpot Golden Boys. They were on tour with the Epic Rap Battles of History, which is why we were in Barcelona and Europe. And they reached out to me afterwards and asked, like, hey, you want to do like a logo? They have a very fun party kind of vibe. You can go check them out. The Jackpot Golden Boys. Now you can order mugs and shirts and stuff with this design on it. Whatever it was wearing heels. Zen Doodles. Zen Doodles relaxing. Just sitting and relaxing. Don't you worry. Okay, whispering butts. In this piece of art, I was playing with the concept of, you know when you're in the wilderness wandering alone and you hear a coyote barking and then you hear another coyote responding way off in a different direction? I was thinking, what if it was like that, but with farts? You know in like 101 Dalmatians, the movie where they have the midnight bar? Weird, camera just shut itself off. Anyway, our last image in this book for now will be this beautiful depiction of the strife of cookies. All we could do was watch and wait, knowing that we were next. The Crumbs coming to theaters someday in my lifetime. I don't know, Sam Raimi, if you're not busy or anything. I have an idea to sell you, Mr. Raimi. Full double page spread using those Sakura Koi brush tip markers. Really fun markers for travel. You know, they don't bleed through, obviously. I was testing the colors on this side. I wanted to see what's a good cookie color. And on that note, I will leave you wondering what else is in the sketchbook and how I'm gonna finish it. It's not quite done, still working on it. So future sketchbook tours to come. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you do like the sketchbook tours, I've made others before and I'll keep making them. So there's a playlist linked on the screen and in the description below. You can check that out for more videos of sketchbook tours. And be sure to follow me on all the social medias at Mary Doodles. Snap Mary Doodles is my Snapchat. On Instagram, I'm doing a daily doodle challenge this year, so every day I make a drawing. Some are good, some are not, so you can watch that. I also will be announcing when I post new videos or when special things are coming up, like VidCon. At the end of June, VidCon's coming up. I'm gonna be doing some panels there, so I will be letting you know all the details on that. And if you're coming to VidCon, tweet me, let me know. Oh, and coming up in June, art casts and tutorials will be returning. So hopefully you'll be getting more videos, especially after I capture and enslave a friend of mine and chain him to a computer and make him edit for me. And if you can't get enough of this, I have a second channel, More Mary Doodles, where there's weekly vlogs. On Mondays, I'm now doing Game of Vlogs, where it's just me freaking out about the most recent Game of Thrones episode. There's a death pool, you can play it. You can check that out as well. And most importantly, thank you, dear Doodlebugs, for watching. You who sat through all of that. You who are still sitting here. You who are waiting to move on to the next video. When's that gonna happen? But like, when's that gonna happen?